Let's discuss adjectives that describe positive and negative attitudes of a person. We have 24 positive negative adjectives here in our class 10 textbook prescribed for Andhra Pradesh students. First, let's have a look at those 24 adjectives. Let me read all those out. Sullen, imaginative, slovenly, sneaky, observant, obnoxious, exuberant, enthusiastic, stingy, bossy, outgoing, idealistic, cautious, haughty, affable, aggressive, intrepid, logical, competitive, malicious, mean, finicky, meticulous, cultured. Now let's look at what each of these words means, and we'll also have an example for each word, and we'll also decide whether each word is positive or negative. Shall we begin? Okay, we'll start with the first one. Sullen. Sullen. It means angry and in a bad mood, or angry and not speaking on a particular occasion. It sometimes happens that somebody treats us unfairly, in a bad way, and then we are angry with that person and we don't speak to that person on that particular occasion, not for a long time, by the way. So sullen. But is this good? Look at that girl who is sullen, angry, and she is in a bad mood. Do you think this is positive or negative? You're right. This is a negative trait. Negative trait, negative quality in one's personality. Of course, this is temporary. Okay, this is negative. Now let's have a look at an example sentence to understand this word better. Rosie sat in sullen silence and refused to eat her lunch. Rosie sat in sullen silence. Here silence is noun, sullen is adjective. Okay, now let's move on to the second word. The word is imaginative. Imaginative. The meaning is having or showing new and exciting ideas. Having or showing new and exciting ideas. The synonym is inventive. By the way, synonyms are words with almost equal meaning. Now here, imaginative and inventive can be used synonymously. So they can be used interchangeably in most of the cases. Okay, now having or showing new and exciting ideas. So what do you think this is? Is this positive or negative? Yes, this is positive, because we all like people who show or who have new and exciting ideas, who are inventive in nature. So that is positive. Shall we look at an example? Teachers need to be imaginative if they want to hold their students' attention. Yes, teachers need to be imaginative. In fact, more imaginative than before if they want to hold their students' attention. So it means they need to come up with new ideas and exciting ideas. They need to be inventive in order to sustain the attention of the students. So imaginative. This is positive. So shall we move on to the next one? The third one is slovenly. Slovenly. Don't say slovenly. This is slovenly. Pronounce L-O-V-E just like you pronounce love. Slovenly. Slovenly. The meaning is lazy, untidy, and careless. Untidy means dirty, unclean. Do you think this is positive or negative? This is pretty self-explanatory. The word itself, the meaning itself explains everything. This is, yes, you are right, negative. Now, do you want an example? Here we have. He grew lazy and slovenly in his habits. It means here he developed new habits. It means he became lazy, untidy, and he became careless. So slovenly. This is a negative trait. Or this adjective is used to describe a negative trait, negative quality in a person's personality. So let's look at the fourth one. The fourth one is sneaky. 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 It means doing things in a secret and unfair way, in a bad way. Doing things in a secret and unfair way. What do you think about this? Is this positive or negative? You're right, this is negative. Now, sneaky is negative. Let's have an example to understand this better. This is from your textbook too. Amelia was sneaky and so she stole her father's clock. It means Amelia did that particular thing in a secret way, in an unfair way. So Amelia was sneaky and so she stole her father's clock. Okay, this is negative. Next, we'll move on to the fifth one. The fifth one is observant. Observant. The meaning is good at noticing things around. Good at noticing things around. The synonym is sharp-eyed. Now, if a person is observant, he or she is good at noticing things around. And they are sharp-eyed people. Observant people are sharp-eyed people. They observe things very well. Do you think this is positive or negative? We all like to be observant. So, this is positive. And let us see this word in action in an example sentence. Supervisors are trained to be observant. Yes, that is, after all, that is their duty, their job. They need to be very observant. They need to be very good at noticing things around. So supervisors are trained to be observant. Observant is positive. Let's move on to the sixth one. Obnoxious. Obnoxious. The meaning is extremely unpleasant, especially in a way that offends people. Now, it means some people are obnoxious. It means these obnoxious people, when they speak something, when they do something that is very unpleasant, and especially their way of addressing people or maybe speaking, their way of speaking offends people, insults other people. Now, people with such behavior are called obnoxious people. Is this positive or negative? You have the keywords there: unpleasant, offending. So this is, you're right, negative. And what about an example? Here we have, when she is in a bad mood, she is obnoxious to everyone. Means here she behaves unpleasantly and she offends people. So this is negative. Let's move on to the seventh one. Exuberant. 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 The meaning is full of energy, excitement and happiness. Full of energy, excitement and happiness. Now, do you like people who are full of energy, excitement and happiness? Yes. Is this positive or negative? Yes, positive. Now let's have this in example sentence. Some exuberant youngsters were gathered outside. I need not explain. You can understand this from the example. Some exuberant youngsters were gathered outside. It means here, youngsters who are full of energy, excitement and happiness were gathered outside. This is positive. Shall we have the next one, the eighth one? Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. The meaning is this: feeling or showing a lot of excitement and interest about somebody or something. Yes, we all like enthusiastic people. In fact, teachers want enthusiastic students. They want their students to show a lot of excitement about learning, show a lot of interest about learning something. Enthusiastic people are always good. They are positive. So enthusiastic is a word that describes positive trait, right? Example: you don't seem very enthusiastic about the party. It means you don't seem very interested in going to the party, or maybe in the party. You do not show any excitement about the party. Anyway, enthusiastic, that's positive. Now the ninth one. Stingy. Stingy. The meaning is unwilling to spend money. The synonym is mean. Stingy people are mean. People who are mean are stingy. Now, stingy people are not willing to spend money. They are very, very mean. They are not generous with money. Of course, the opposite is generous. Stingy, generous. Generous people spend money. Stingy people do not spend money. They are not willing. Now, is this positive or negative? You're right. This is negative. Now, let's have an example to understand this better. He's really stingy and never buys anyone a drink when we go out. He's really stingy and never buys anyone a drink when we go out. So it means here he never spends money on buying something for other people. So this is negative. Now number 10. Bossy. The word itself explains everything, like a boss. Always telling people what to do. That's what bosses do. Not every boss does that, but people who are in authoritative position do that. Always telling people what to do. Bossy people. Do you like bossy people? No. So this is negative. This describes a negative trait in someone's character. Now what about an example? My sister is very bossy. Now she always tells me what to do. She always tells others what to do. I don't like. My sister is very bossy. This is negative. Now we'll move on to the next one. 11th one. Outgoing. Outgoing. The meaning is liking to meet other people, enjoying their company and being friendly towards them. Now people who are outgoing want to meet other people, they enjoy the company of other people, and they try to be friendly towards them. In fact, they like all these things. So outgoing. So do you like outgoing people? Yes, we enjoy being with them. We want to be one. Like an outgoing person. Is this positive or negative? Yes, positive. And here is an example. I have become more confident and outgoing, especially these days. I have become more confident and outgoing. So, means these days I want to meet other people. I enjoy the company of other people. I try to be friendly towards other people. Positive. Let's move on to the 12th one. Idealistic. Idealistic. The meaning is believing that you should live according to high standards and principles, or following high standards and principles. Now people who follow high standards and principles are idealistic people. So idealistic. This is positive. You're right. And here is an example. When I was young and idealistic, I believed it was possible to change the world. Of course, I may have a different opinion now, but this is what I had in my mind. When I was young and idealistic, I believed it was possible to change the world. Idealistic, believing in standards and principles, that's a good thing, positive. We'll move on to the 13th one. Cautious. Cautious. The meaning is careful to avoid danger or risk. Is this good or bad? Positive or negative? Being careful to avoid danger or risk? Yes, this is positive. You are right. Now here is an example. My friend is a cautious driver. Here A is missing. My friend is a cautious driver. It means my friend is very careful when he drives. He is a very good driver. He tries to avoid danger or risk. Let's move on to the 14th one. Haughty. Haughty. The meaning is behaving in a proud and unfriendly way. Now, we don't like haughty people, do we? No, because they behave in a proud way and they are unfriendly. We don't like. Yes, you are right, this is negative. The example, she has a rather haughty manner. Now here rather is used in the sense of very. She has a very haughty manner. She behaves in a very proud way and unfriendly way. Now let's move on to the 15th one. Affable. Affable. The meaning is pleasant, friendly, and easy to talk to. The synonym is genial. Now, people who are affable are very pleasant, and then they are friendly, and they are easy to talk to. Means here we can go to them, approach them, and talk to them easily. So affable, is that good or bad, positive or negative? Positive. You're right. Now let's have an example to understand this better. He greeted everyone in a relaxed and affable manner. He greeted everyone in a relaxed and affable manner. Positive. Shall we move on to the 16th one? Here we have it. Aggressive. Aggressive. The meaning is angry and behaving in a threatening way, as if threatening somebody. Aggressive. We don't like aggressive people because they are angry, they threaten us. So this is negative. And an example, men are more aggressive than women. Men are more aggressive than women. This is just an example, don't worry. Now this is aggressive. Aggressive is a word that describes a negative trait. Now the 17th one. Intrepid. Intrepid. Meaning is extremely brave, fearless. Yes, we all want to be intrepid. We all want to be extremely brave, at least in some situations. We want to be fearless. So that's a good thing, positive. And an example is here. He is an intrepid journalist. Journalism demands a lot of courage. You should not be afraid of doing things. Approaching people or doing something that involves some adventure. So, a journalist, an intrepid journalist, that's wonderful, positive. Now the 18th one. Logical. The meaning is seeming reasonable and sensible. This is good, this is positive. We can understand it from the word itself, logical, positive. And an example is here. We need to come to a logical conclusion about this project. Maybe during a particular discussion on a certain project. We can say this one. We need to come to a logical conclusion about this project. It means here the conclusion that we come to should be reasonable and sensible. So, positive. Now, the 19th one. Competitive. Please do not say competitive. This is competitive. Competitive. The meaning is determined and trying very hard to be more successful than others. Now, if you are competitive, you are determined, means you strongly decide and you try very hard to be more successful than others. Are you really competitive? I believe so. Competitive. Is this positive or not? Yes. Now we'll have an example. Some Indian industries are not as competitive as they have been. It means here in the past they were very competitive, but they are not now. Some Indian industries are not as competitive as they have been. Positive. Now, the 20th. Malicious. Malicious. The meaning is having or showing a desire to harm somebody or hurt their feelings. Now some people deliberately do this. I mean, they plan and then do it, but some people do this as part of their nature. So they have a desire to harm other people. They show a desire to harm other people and hurt others' feelings. Now this is not good, so this is negative. And what about an example? We should never involve in malicious gossip. We should never involve in malicious gossip. Now gossiping, talking about other people, especially trying to spread rumors. Not really trying, but we generally do that. We spread rumors about other people, talking about them. That's called gossiping. We should never involve in malicious gossiping. Now that's like harming, trying to harm somebody. So this is negative. Now number 21. Mean. We have already discussed this word when we were dealing with the word stingy. Almost the same meaning. Mean. It means not willing to give or share things, especially money. So since this word and stingy are synonymous, both of them are negative. And an example is here. She has always been mean with money. It means here she has always been unwilling to share her things, especially money. Negative. Now the 22nd. Finicky. Finicky. The meaning is too worried about what you eat, where, etc. Disliking many things. The synonym is fussy. Fussy people, finicky people keep complaining about little things, saying that there is not much salt in the curry or there is less salt in the food. They keep complaining. They keep complaining, saying that their shirt is short, their shirt is loose. It's all complaints. We don't like such people, do we? Yes. Is this positive or negative? Negative. Now we'll have an example here. He is terribly finicky about his food. Means he just keeps complaining about his food every time he eats. He is terribly finicky about his food. Negative. Now number 23. Meticulous. Meticulous. The meaning is paying careful attention to every detail. This is what is important for everyone. Everyone should be meticulous. Whenever they do something, they should pay careful attention to every detail. Meticulous people. I like them. Do you? So meticulous is positive. And the example is here. Their room had been prepared with meticulous care. It means here, whoever prepared the room paid careful attention to every detail that was necessary. And it was gorgeous. It was wonderful. The room was wonderful. Okay, this is positive. Now let's look at the 24th one. Of course, the last one here. Cultured. Cultured. The meaning is intelligent, polite, and interested in art, literature, music, etc. Intelligent, polite, and interested in art, literature, music, etc. Is there any negative sounding word here in the meaning? No. This is positive. And what about an example? Mr. Johnson is a cultured man who traveled a great deal. Means here who traveled a lot. This is positive. Okay, now we have come to the end of the list of these 24 adjectives that describe positive and negative traits of a person's personality. Now, what about a quiz? A very short quiz. Shall we try it? Okay. Test your understanding. Number 1. If a person is sneaky, he or she does things in a dishonest way. Do you think this is true or false? Pause the video, think of it, and guess the answer. If a person is sneaky, he or she does things in a dishonest way. Okay, welcome back. This is true because this is what we learned. Sneaky people do things in a secret and unfair way. So, true is the answer there. Now, let's have a next question. If you are malicious, you are cruel and unkind. True or false? Pause the video for a moment and think. If you are malicious, you are cruel and unkind. If you have guessed it correctly, the answer is true. Because this is what we learnt. Malicious. Having or showing a desire to harm somebody or hurt their feelings. Malicious. So true is the correct answer. Now number 3. People who are competitive are not determined and they do not show fighting spirit. Pause the video for a moment and try. People who are competitive are not determined and they do not show fighting spirit. If you have guessed it correctly, the answer is false. Because the statement says competitive people do not show fighting spirit. But here is what we learned. Competitive people are determined and they try very hard to be more successful than others. They show fighting spirit. So, false is the right answer. That's all for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it with your friends. To take a full-fledged quiz on this particular topic, you can visit esldrill.com. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.